Today we're going to look into question 4, which is on solubility of salt. This is a very unique graphing question, 10 marks, but this time around you need to plot two lines for two different graphs, rather for two different salts. So let's dive in. Okay, so with this question here, you get a table with two different salts. One is potassium nitrate and the other one is sodium nitrate. One is in blue and one is in green. If you were to follow the plots, and you will end up with something like this. Okay, so if you were to break down again the marks, this is how you're going to get the first 2 marks. You need to follow as closely as you can to the tables and the values. Then you will plot it out like this. And then you draw your line, smooth graph. Now take note, you want to draw a smooth graph and you need to label it. So take note of the word label. If you do not label, you just draw a very nice graph, you'll get a maximum of 1 mark. So take note of that. And for this, because you are plotting two different lines, it's really quite a high demand over here, or they're not very generous with the marks. Okay, so one smooth curve with the correct label like this, you will get your 1 mark each for each line. Okay, so we've got two salts. The blue one is potassium nitrate, the green one would be our sodium nitrate. Okay, so let's take a look at the question. If you have plotted correctly, take your time. You should always have your 2B pencil and your eraser. I know I should not be reminding you this right now, but you should. Go dig one right now. Okay, so you need to use the graph to show the temperature at which the maximum mass dissolve for each solute. Determine this temperature. So you need to read from the graph, and basically what this means is we are looking at this point where the two graphs meet and intersect. Okay, so if you look at mine is around 70, right? It's around 70 or 70.5, but if you were to look at the mark scheme, they say theirs is around 68. So it's not really accurate of mine, or rather mine is a little bit different. Drawing on iPad is really definitely different from drawing on a graph paper. Okay, so try to plot as closely as you can. One thing I took notice of in terms of their comment is that, interestingly enough, they say that you do not need to actually touch all the points so long you're close to the points. Okay, so I'm not sure how generous they are this year, but I'm going to recommend as closely as you can. If you can reach the plot, that'd be lovely. Okay, so the first question is looking at the line where these two graphs intersect, and this will be this area. Okay, so with that, that would be our first 1 mark. Then we need to use the graph to look at the solubility of sodium nitrate at 30 degrees Celsius, okay, in 100 gram of water. Now take note, this is based on 25 cm cube of water. So whatever value that you get from here, you need to multiply it by 4. Why? Because 100 cm cube divided by 25, that's 4 times more. Okay, so we are looking at 30 degrees sodium nitrate. So we go up, okay, and sodium nitrate would be the green line. Okay, sodium nitrate is our green line. So at 30 degrees, okay, if you look up 30 degrees, you will definitely put your ruler over here. So like this, you will place your ruler at 30 degrees, you will read across, and that will give us about 24 gram of water. 24 gram of sodium nitrate can dissolve at 30 degrees Celsius. So what you need to do here is, with that 24 that you have just gotten from the graph, or my graph here, you need to multiply that value by 4. So that means 96 gram of sodium nitrate can dissolve in 100 cm cube of water. This is a very common question for solubility. And most of the time, the graph that you're plotting is based on 25 cm cube. Okay, so these are things to take note of. If they start off with 50 cm cube, then they ask you to find the solubility in 100 cm cube. You just need to, again, find the value on the graph and multiply by 2. Okay, so take note of the context that's given to you. So in this case, it's 96. All right, then for part D, it's a 3-mark question. And what do you need to do? So right now, you need to look for potassium nitrate, and it is cooled from 50 to 20 degrees Celsius. You want to find out what's the mass of potassium nitrate that crystallizes. Basically, it turns back into a solid because solubility actually decreases when the temperature drops. So it will turn back into solid state. So we need to read two different data. One's at 50 and one's at 20. So one thing you need to take note in terms of command word is show you're working on the graph. I can't emphasize this enough. You do need to draw the lines on your graph in order to show you're working. So we are going to look at potassium nitrate over here and at 50 and 20. Okay, so potassium nitrate is the graph that's in blue. So the first thing I'm going to take away this first, okay? I'm going to use yellow. So at 50 and at 20. So you need to show this line. So use your ruler like this, okay? And at 50, draw up to where it hits the curve at 50, and then you do the same for 20, and then you read and you draw across. So you should be able to get value like this. So based on my graph, at 50, the solubility of potassium nitrate would be 21.5. So what do you need to do is you do need to draw this purple line in this one. So at 50 and at 20, draw up, hit the curve, and then read across. So that's 8 gram at 20 degrees, and then 21.5 gram at 50 degrees. Okay, so what you need to do here is you obtain this point, obtain this value, and you subtract it. So this is the mass of potassium nitrate that will crystallize when the temperature drops from 50 to 20. You do need to show you're working on the graph. Each working on each line that you draw over here, that's 1 mark. So that's 2 marks on the graph. And then the final mark would be the subtraction. Subtraction would not be a problem. Students lose marks because they are not showing the working on the graph. Okay, so simple things like that, common works like that, is something that you should actively look out for. Listen to the instruction, listen to the command and the question, and follow it accordingly. Okay, so that's essentially our 10 marks. This is, according to the marker report, a very one-off, very unique case whereby you need to draw two plots or two smooth curve on a graph. It's usually not like this, just one. So I would say this is based on the markers report, right? This is a very well done question. So students are following accordingly. Where are they losing marks? It's they are not showing they are working on the graph. Okay, so please don't be one of the students. Take note of all these things. Take note of command words. All right, see you on the other side.